I
Oh,
feel like that
it's
song should be
working.
playing. Ding, ding. What's that TV show where it goes bing, bong?
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, it's an old TV show.
It might
Um,
be before my time, Jamie. It might
Probably
be
is.
before my time,
Probably.
but that's
No,
okay.
I think it was in black and white.
Age and time are both irrelevant, so
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
exactly.
We're just going to stall while we wait for people to join us. So those who are
Okay.
catching this on the replay, I always feel bad for the stall part, but so we'll give you something to look forward to. So I was showing Jamie this before we went live. I'm going to turn my cup around if it works. I just threw cream in my coffee today. And look at that. It's shaped like a heart.
Perfect.
And Jamie's on the show. I don't know if there's a correlation because my coffee cream has never made the shape of a heart before.
It's magic.
So all the love for you today.
Thank you, Jody.
You in your home office?
Yes, we built one in the basement here when COVID came along, and I needed the space to work, and this does the trick.
Nice. What's your lamp?
Oh, so that lamp goes back to like 1950, well, when I was born.
Right.
And there's a picture, my very first baby picture has that lamp in it.
Really?
Isn't that cool?
What is it of, though? Or is it just
it's a woman, and I don't know, it's kind of just a woman thing. And my parents had it it was given to my parents as a wedding present.
Yeah.
And they got two of them, and I have both of them in my home.
Oh.
So yeah, it's kind of like going back to my childhood every time I look in my camera. So.
Oh, well, it's cool. Well, it looked like an irregular shape. So then I was like, there's got to be a story behind it.
Oh, I know why. Because my little buddy's in front.
Oh.
This is my little buddy. He came back home with me when I was in Korea ballooning.
Oh.
Yeah,
cool.
He's kind of a cool little guy. Watches over me.
Your lamp is still a different shape, though, compared to you can tell it's something and not just a straight lamp.
Yeah, if it wasn't plugged in, I'd bring it over so you could see it better. But
yeah, it's all good. Good morning, Kelly. She said food morning. So food morning, Kelly needs breakfast. Oh, we're competing with the Queen's service, Jamie. That's why nobody wants to talk to us today.
Oh, they must be running replays because I think it started at 3 a.m., didn't it?
Well, I think so. I know when I had a hard time falling asleep last night. So I was awake quite late. And on TikTok, they were live streaming the starting of the procession at like 1:30 this morning. So
wow.
Going. But
yeah. It's a big change for the world.
Sure is. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Good morning, Cheryl.
Paul's in Bristol today.
Yep.
Speaking of London, Paul's in Bristol today, and he flies out tomorrow morning, I guess, or his time would be tonight, I guess. And we'll be arriving in Calgary tomorrow at 2:00. And I'll be picking him up at the airport to bring him out to the event.
Fun.
Yes.
Maybe you should send me to pick him up. We'll surprise him.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. I don't know if you know this story, but he, because of COVID and stuff, he wasn't able to bring his balloon around in the last couple of years. But so last year, I'm sitting in the briefing room doing my briefing stuff, and he walks in and says, "What are you doing?" I couldn't believe it. It just about fell off the chair. I had no idea he was coming.
It was a surprise. Yeah. Well, I saw the picture of you two together and was like, oh, he must have made it through. How exciting.
Yes, he did. So he and his partner, Emma, are both coming all the way from Bristol, England. So we're excited to have them. Yeah. And, of course, Peter.
We'll talk
I love it when the way you say his name.
I haven't seen him in so long. I forgot about that. But what we're alluding to, friends, if you're just joining us, because me and Jamie just jump into old home week so easily. Yep. But on Virtual Coffee Club this morning, we're talking to Jamie Kinghorn, who is a pilot and one of the organizers of the High River International Balloon Festival, which kicks off later this week. And how many years? Is this year 9? 8?
No, this will be our 10th event.
10?
10. Yes.
Where did that
Crazy.
go? Where
Well,
did
like,
that
you know, as you're aware, our first one was the
right after the
September of
flood?
2013.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
2013 September was our first one. So people argue whether or not that's annual or not. I just call it our 10th event.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever. Oh, sorry. I'm going to turn that
Don't
off.
call Jamie. He's busy right now
Yes.
for at least
Sorry,
another
sorry,
20
Jody.
minutes. I'm just
Sorry
kidding. No,
about
it's
that.
all
I'm
fine.
usually on top of that stuff. It was just the town calling me, so I'll put them on hold.
It's fine. So Big Balloon Fest this weekend, like you said, the 10th event. Let's go back
Yes.
in time for just a moment
Sure.
and chit chat a little bit about how it started. Like this was a real, like a pipe dream for you that became real fast.
Yeah, it's you know, as you know, I've participated in events all over the world, and I really enjoy going to balloon events, and I've seen what it does for communities and for people and kids and all that sort of stuff. So when the flood happened in 2013, we'd been talking about doing a small event here in High River. And then flood hit, of course, and everybody's, oh, no, you can't do anything like that in High River now. Look what happened, blah, blah, blah. So I talked to the team and I said, we have to do it. We really have to do this event. So the Heritage came on board. If you recall, they didn't even have carpets in the hotel. They had no staff because all the staff was living outside of town and all that kind of fun thing. And so we actually served our own coffee and helped the staff when it was serving meals and all that to get everything organized. And we did our own rooms. So it was really unique event that way for the pilots. And then when we went down and did the balloon glow, I don't know. I think you were there, Jody, weren't you, when we did that balloon glow? And the people that were in tears because it was so emotional and so that it was an amazing feeling in that crowd.
Yeah, it sure was. It was really, honestly, I think it was one of the most healing events that we had happen in that time frame. I remember because that was my first year to ever take a balloon flight. You remember that? That's why
Yes.
I love Peter so much and
Yes.
fell instantly in love with this man because he flew me over my beloved town. And it was an emotional ride. It was outside of me being terrified of heights and him pretending that he ran out of fuel. He's kind of a bastard. No, I'm just kidding. But it was a really important event for the community, I think, because it really brought us together and then has continued to build into something where people come and experience High River since then.
Yeah, and you know, all the pilots that came, they understood the situation the town was in and worked very, very well with us as organizers. And they continue to come back. I mean, a number of them have been here every year ever since. And of course, there's other ones that come on board, like, Peter, he's been here pretty much since day one. He was here first year, if you recall. Yeah. And who else? So a bunch of the guys from Calgary here first year, but they just keep coming back. And so when we do our surveys and ask them, why do you come to High River? Why do you come to this event? Because obviously there's lots of events they could go to, and they're traveling long distances and spending significant money to participate in our event. And without a doubt, every time I hear it's about the people of High River, every single time. The way they're treated, the way people are so friendly to them, you know, just the whole package of what High River offers. People just love coming here. So it's a credit to our community, and it's a credit to our volunteers and to all of our residents. And I know for me, it's amazing when I fly over High River and I hear people yelling, Jamie, Jamie. So it's really, really, it's a really cool thing. And I hear it all the time from people on the street, how much they love the balloons being here in High River. So we've just carried on with the event. And thankfully our title sponsor, the Heritage Inn, has been on board since day one, and they continue to support us. And having discussions with them, they're looking forward to a much longer relationship. So that is an extremely important part of the event.
I feel like what it also teaches you in that process is how much your voice carries that you don't realize. It's like a nice surprise for people to be like, hey, guess what? People can hear you when they're flying over top of you. Yeah,
for sure. I like the yellow good morning and that kind of thing. And you can really hear it very well. And so, you know, you always hear dogs barking.
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter what country I'm in, they all bark the same.
And they all speak the same language.
Yeah. So
Weird.
when you yell back at them, they're, whoa, puppy. I don't know if they understand me or not.
Bark, 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 bark. Now, what I think is kind of cool is if you look on the Heritage International Balloon Fest Instagram or Facebook, there's been some really cool features of the pilots that are coming. And what I think is really neat is there's the picture of the pilot and then the picture of their balloon beside it. So what I think would be really fun for those who come down to watch, or if you're here, is like, look it up. And then when you see the balloon go over, you could yell it out by name and surprise them.
And yell out the balloon name and the pilot name.
Yeah.
And that would be really cool. And the credit goes out to Lorraine Watson. She manages that stuff and does all it for us,
Yeah.
Facebook and all the social media. And she's done just an incredible job. Absolutely amazing, the things that she's done with social media. Well beyond anything I'm capable of. I'm lucky to log on in the mornings. So, no, she's awesome. Her and Bonnie are doing great
Bonnie
stuff.
are amazing. Yeah.
Yes, and they're doing just absolutely amazing stuff. They joined our team, I believe, 2 years ago, and have been just a great addition. So hats off to them.
It's very cool. Now, if people, when we talk about Peter, might not know who that is as a pilot, but I bet you they know which balloon we're talking about. Because they've seen it and seen the pictures and love it. And so when we talk about that very first, I think because it was the first, well, I think back to 10 years ago or 10 events ago when we had that, is none of us, for the most part, I think I can speak for the community, had ever seen specialty shaped balloons. You've seen, right? Like we all know Remax did a really great job of their marketing by buying a balloon, because we all know what the Remax balloon flying over Calgary looked like growing up as kids. But the first time we got to see specialty balloons, and that was that beautiful Nellie, the big pink elephant.
Yes, and Nellie did a lot of flying, and that's Nellie B.
Yeah.
So she finally got tired and went back to the barns and just hangs out there now. But her daughter, Nellie Princess Nellie, he calls it. Yeah. Princess Nellie is his.
She's got a crown.
She's got a crown, which is kind of fitting, isn't it? Don't you think? For today?
For this week, it's going to be so good.
Yeah. So she's got a crown and is almost brand new. I think he's got 2 years on her now.
Yeah.
And she'll be coming up. And I believe Peter's on his way to Montana right now as we speak to pick up Nellie and come up to High River. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, and Paul, who we alluded to earlier, alerted's probably also important for us to throw out there, is that he brought some various different like specialty balloons over the years.
Yeah, he's owned a number of special shapes, and this year he's coming back with Buster the dog, the big dog with the tongue hanging out. And exactly. You do well.
Thank you.
Some little kid's going to come along and pull on your tongue.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So that should be a reminder to folks. Hey, if you're coming out to Glow, please don't pull on Buster's tongue.
No. Yeah. Don't touch the balloons. Don't touch them. Just look and enjoy. And there's been lots of fun shapes and lots of,
Lighthouse.
And I mean, I just love all the colors of the, I don't know if we want to just call them regular balloons, but the envelope. There's so many. I love all the beautiful colors. And you've got a brand new one too over the last few years.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting story. So a couple of years ago, my old balloon, Woody, everybody remembers Woody. That thing's been around for many, many, many years, was starting to reach the end of her life cycle. So I started talking to various factories and people about buying a new balloon because it was time. Balloons only last so long and they wear out and you've got to replace them. And I ended up chatting with a buddy of mine, Bill, who you're aware of. He's brought out a number of special shapes to High River as well, Bill Whalen out of Ottawa. I was talking to him a little bit about it. And he said, well, Jamie, have you ever thought about building your own? I went, huh?
No, that sounds like a lot.
No. He says, we can do this. And I said, okay, let's chat. So we started talking, and I took an Excel spreadsheet and played with my colors and did all kinds of things that most people don't know, but I've kind of been a bit of an Egyptian history nut over the years, many, many, many years. And the symbol, the Eye of Ra, to me was always had something to it, or something about that symbol. And so I incorporated the Eye of Ra into the balloon, and royalty being the color purple, and the Eye of Ra is also stands for the sun god. So that gave me the yellow-purple combination. And I put it on a spreadsheet, put it all together, and I emailed it to Bill and said, "What do you think?" He says, "We can do this."
Yeah.
Okay, so we ordered all the fabric.
Okay, let's
ordered all
do
the
this
fabric
then.
in.
Yeah.
We ordered all the fabric in from the factory.
Which is
Myself.
how much? How many meters of fabric?
Oh
Do you remember?
God, I don't even ask me. Bill would know, but it was a lot. It was a lot, miles and miles and miles of thread.
Yeah.
But I know what a bobbin is. I learned what a bobbin is.
Yes.
So
okay.
I never thought Jamie King would say the words, "My bobbin's empty. My bobbin's empty."
Someone help me thread my bobbin.
I got to reload my bobbin. So yeah, we ordered all the fabric in to Ottawa. Deb and I flew down, and I think Deb was there about 5 days, and I spent about 2 weeks. And we took the fabric, and you there's a computer software that you can use, and it prints off basically heavier paper patterns to cut. And then you just cut your fabric to the patterns, put it in all these bins, miles and miles of bins. I got tons of pictures. And then you start pinning it together, following the pattern. Once it's pinned, then it goes over to a sewing machine where they put in a single stitch called a holding stitch, and they run it through. And then once it's gone through that process, then it goes over to the double needle machine, and it goes through that. And there's all kinds of pictures of me sewing, and it was an incredible experience. And I'm just, when I fly it, it's a totally different experience, because I look up and I put that balloon together, right?
Yeah.
So we had a team.
Yeah.
So we had about, I think 10 or 12 different volunteers would show up and work for a few hours, and somebody else would come over. So we had a bunch of people contribute and put it all together. Took it to Transport Canada. They inspected it and approved it. And now that's the balloon you'll see me flying, the Eye of Ra. And it's become a very, very popular balloon. Everywhere I've gone, people seem to really grab on to that Eye of Ra. And of course, I got all the swag and the hats and the pins and all that cool stuff. So, yeah.
I love it.
I love it.
And if you're from High River or familiar with Jamie at all, you know that when he takes a color combination, he takes it all the way. And I feel like every time I see your Facebook, you've painted or done something else in purple and yellow.
Yeah, I think the purple suit was just a little bit over the top, though.
No, not at all.
There's a funny story behind that. So I had the suit in my trailer.
Yeah.
And we go ballooning, and I'm wearing my normal ballooning clothes, if you like. I started getting the balloon ready, and I called the pilot over. It was about 5 minutes before time to go, and I called a buddy of mine that's a pilot and said, "Come on over. I need you to watch the balloon for me for just a couple of minutes." "Why? What are you doing, Jamie?" I said, "Don't worry about it. Just watch the balloon for me." I slipped into the trailer, quickly changed into my purple suit, come walking out, walked over to the balloon and grabbed a hold of the burners and stood it up, and off I went. Well, the roar and the laughter and everything from the whole crowd was hilarious. And I flew the whole flight in that suit and packed the balloon and everything in that purple suit, purple tie, yellow shirt. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah. Are you going to pull that out this week?
No, it's in the back of the closet. Deb keeps bugging me to do it, but I don't know.
Come on. It's in your hometown. You have to pull out the purple.
I might do it. I might do it for the awards or something like that.
Yeah. Or the opening ceremonies.
Early opening ceremonies, yeah. We'll see. But yeah, so everything's purple. And then I was down in Montana here in end of July ballooning. And I was heading to a place called Riverton, Wyoming, which has an event every year. My first year down because of COVID. So it's been a couple of years, and I got rear-ended by somebody.
Oh no!
Drove right into the back of my trailer, like boom. And then I got out of my truck and I looked back at him, and his eyes were like as big as saucers. And he got his car going, and he took off, gone.
Oh
took
no!
Off. Yeah, I'm looking, and all I've seen is all these bits and pieces falling off his car as he's tearing off down the road. What?
You're like, dear karma, take care of that one for me.
Yeah. So a number of friends from the balloon community and everything helped me out, and we got the trailer fixed up enough that I was able to use it for the rest of the two events, because I was going to Riverton and then coming back to Billings. So we did get it up and running, but when I brought it back, it needed a whole bunch of work. So somebody pointed out on Facebook that the roof was still metal and wood. So I had to repaint the whole inside to, so it's purple and yellow interior. So
you just had to. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't figure out why they go through so much purple paint here in town, right? It's going over there buying more spray bombs.
Restock the purple.
Get more spray bombs.
I love that. Okay, so if people want to, if you're in Southern Alberta and you want to take part in Balloon Fest this weekend, the best place to follow along is your socials, isn't it? You guys keep that really up to date on if there's flights and what they look like and all that stuff.
Yeah, Facebook is probably the quickest one. So during the event, I encourage people to follow the Facebook page because we can be down at the field and say, hey, we're going or we're not going. It just depends on again, like you said,
on the weather, right?
We're so weather dependent. I don't even, Deb gives me a hard time because I won't watch any weather broadcasts for the week before. I'm still not watching them because we need that good weather in order to make the event happen. But big changes this year, eh, Jody?
Oh?
Big changes. We're still flying out of the regular place on McLeod Trail.
Right.
So you'll see us coming over town and doing our thing. But the Night Glow is moving.
Ooh.
Whoa, we're moving it to the Wallaceville area.
Okay.
So what's going to happen?
In there.
Pardon
that'll
me?
be good. There's lots of trees in there.
We're actually just to the west there where the old town shops used to be.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is Center Street is going to be closed at the Tim Hortons on the north side at, I believe it's going to be around 4:30. And we're also closing Center Street on the south side, just at the bridge.
Right.
And the balloons will be coming in and setting up in that field on the west side. We're going to have a stage and music and food trucks and all that sort of stuff lined up on Center Street. And if you're coming from out of town, so if you're coming out of the south, we're going to be parking you at the Co-op parking lot and have shuttle buses running from there. Kim and the Boys and Girls Club and the Canettes are all helping out with that. So that's awesome to get some of these other clubs involved. So we'll be parking at Co-op and running shuttle buses over to the site. And if you're coming in from the north, we're going to be parking at the Ag Society. So we'll have buses running in and out of there, bringing you to the site. And our third parking lot, which is fairly close, is by the Tim Hortons. And that'll be a park and walk in. So you'll be able to park there and walk in. Keep in mind, all parking is going to be $20 per car. Not per person, per car. So bring some cash with you. We don't have a lot of change around. And for locals, if you want to park by Tim Hortons, you can walk in. And other folks, if you want to park downtown and walk a little further, we'd love to have you come over and hang out with us for a while.
And is that on Friday night?
That's correct. It's the Friday night again. Yeah, we like Friday night. It's just I don't know. It's been a tradition, and it just carries through that every Friday night we do the glows. So yeah,
perfect, awesome.
Yeah.
Eyes to the sky. Pray to the weather gods. Yeah.
Yes. If anybody has an in, let me know.
Well, and I noticed on your social media too that you were still looking for a few volunteers to help with crews. So that would be kind of a cool experience for people.
I think it really, in fact, that's how I got into ballooning was I crewed, right? And I crewed a couple more times, and this is great. I went for a flight, and the flight was awesome. I wanted to be a balloon pilot, but it was really the crewing that got me involved in the camaraderie that goes along with that, and chasing the balloon as it's flying across the sky. Where's he going to land? Where's he? Oh, he's not going to land there. Okay, where's he going to land?
What other road can we take?
It is a lot of fun to chase balloons and to crew. And I know you've been out a few times, Jody, and we always have that champagne celebration.
Yeah, I come for the booze, but everybody else can come for the other experiences.
Yeah. It's great champagne. And today's unique today. Today's the anniversary of the first ever, we don't call it manned, but first time a balloon flew it had animals, a rooster, a duck, and a sheep in 1783.
So, okay. Was that just like they looked around the farm and they're like, who could we put in the balloon?
Pretty much.
Let's take that duck and that. Like, how crazy is that?
Well, I think it was. So the story goes, and I wasn't there, contrary to some people think of my age, but the story goes is that they didn't know if the air was breathable up high. They had no idea because they've never
Oh,
been up there. So they
okay.
thought if they put these 3 animals in the balloon and sent it up, and when it comes back down, if they're still alive, hey, we're good to go. So
Yeah.
that's the story behind the 3 critters. So if you look closely in my trailer, you'll always see a pig, a duck, and a sheep, or a rooster, a duck, and a sheep in my
Rooster,
trailer.
duck, and a sheep.
Yeah.
It's like an interesting combination.
And
Yeah.
they're always in my trailer. They travel with me wherever we go. So, and so for the folks out there, if you want to get close and really get involved in the sport, we'd love to have volunteers. It's easy to do. Just go to our website, sign up. Or in the last case now, what we're doing is I think we're accepting volunteers at the Heritage. If you come over to the Heritage, follow the times, you're more than welcome to sign up, and feel free to get close and up personal with the balloons. I mean, it's an amazing experience. You'll make lifelong friends from around the world.
Oh, you're going to get up close and personal to it because you got to roll it up and lay on it and try to stuff it back. It's like putting the sleeping bag back in the sleeping bag holder, only it's 18,000 times the size. You have to experience this. Yeah.
I've had people put it in and say, oh, damn, we didn't fold it right. We got to take it out and do it over again.
I'm just like, more champagne, or I'm not doing that. Like, forget it. So what's the story behind the champagne? There's symbolism to that too. I mean, you guys are like symbolistic in so much that you do.
There's a tremendous amount of tradition in ballooning. It goes back a long ways, and I tease other pilots, like fixed wing pilots. I tell them real pilots don't need wings, right? Obviously, we don't have wings, but we are
a rooster, a sheep, and a duck. Yeah.
Yeah, so the champagne tradition comes about is when they sent the first balloons off, the folks didn't understand it was the heat that made the balloon go up. They thought it was the smoke. Because imagine back then when you started to fire, the smoke would go up. So they took a balloon, and basically it was made out of paper. It was kind of scary kind of thing, but it was, and the guys that did it owned a place that made champagne. Right. So they built this balloon out of paper, and they filled it full of stuff burning, like green grass and all that, and as much smoke as they could produce, and naturally it went up into the sky and floated along. And you can imagine 200 years ago, you're out in your field and you're plowing your field, and this big smoking, billowing thing comes out of the sky. Well, they went nuts and they destroyed it. Absolutely destroyed the balloon. Thought it was some sort of demon.
Pitchforks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as we talked about earlier, a lot of work goes into making a balloon. So these fellas decided that, and back in the day, champagne was very, very expensive. So they decided they would take a bottle of champagne with them. So when the balloon came down, they would offer that to the landowner, and the landowner hopefully wouldn't destroy the balloon. Well, it worked. So now, traditionally, we always offer champagne at the end of a flight.
Yeah.
Lots of,
I always thought it was to celebrate the fact that you lived. Because sometimes the balloon lands a little rougher than you think it might. And so I felt like it was just always like, woo!
Yeah.
Cheers.
We lived. No, that's where the champagne tradition comes from, is going back in history and offering it to farmers so that they would welcome us onto our land. And I'll put in a poke for the farmers around High River. Yeah. One of the reasons that ballooning has been so successful in High River is because of all the landowners. And I can name off a number of them that are around us that have been absolutely incredible to work with for ballooning. And that's, balloonists need a place to land. And so these local landowners have been absolutely amazing. And I can't thank them enough for allowing us onto their property. And it's pretty early in the morning.
Yeah.
So
just think back from it. Could you imagine flying a balloon that's on using fire? Like you're flying in a paper
balloon.
Thank goodness we've evolved. Of our world, we're brave.
Yeah, we've really evolved a lot now to the wicker basket.
The old whisker basket.
The old whisker basket, yeah. So wicker, and we burn propane. So we bring a fueling truck comes over to the Heritage, and that's where we refuel everybody with the propane. That's probably
the biggest
one of our biggest tabs. It can be, obviously when we don't fly, we don't use very much, but when we fly frequently, it's very, very expensive. So all of the sponsorship money that we've been able to raise from locals has been fantastic, and will certainly go to good use.
Well, and think about that if you have a moment when you think, gosh, $20 per car for parking. I don't want to pay for parking, but think that money goes to the fuel so that you have balloons to watch.
Well, and I should clarify the $20,
Easy.
half for us, half for the
Service club, right?
the club that's doing it. Yeah. So the buses, we pay for the buses, which is not cheap today with fuel and
No.
payroll and all that sort of stuff. So we pay for the buses, and we just want to make it easier for people to get in and get out of High River.
Great experience. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We all remember what happened a number of years ago where we had that, what was it, 20-some thousand people showed up.
Talk about it. Yeah.
But a good thing.
Which, yeah.
I got
it was
told
a great problem to have. Yeah.
It was, but I got told the other day that some crew was trying to book a hotel room in High River and they couldn't get a room.
Good.
So apparently all the hotels are full, and they actually ended up booking a room in that little place to the north of us that I don't talk about very much.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We won't mention it. We don't want you to get the eye twitch before the weekend. But
yeah, no kidding.
Look at this. You didn't think you'd be able to talk about balloons for 20 minutes. Obviously, you haven't had coffee with you before.
Oh, Jody, I could go for hours.
I know.
I could go into balloon stories. People go, you ever shut up about ballooning?
Yeah, we might have to have you on again this week. But
I would absolutely love to join you, Jody, and love to have you come down and say hi. And I know Peter would love to see you and come and hang out.
Well, I didn't get to see Peter last year, so I think I got to make an effort to get there. You bet.
For sure. Well, he's going to be around the Heritage, and you know where that is, right?
Sure do.
So, and if you people out there ever want to come and say hi to pilots, come on down to the Heritage. There'll be all kinds of trailers and balloons and stuff going on. And I understand that the Heritage is planning some special activities too. So
awesome.
Okay. Oh, you got to check out. Have you been down there hallway?
No, I haven't been there forever.
Oh, the kids at Boys and Girls Club, we bought those, those foldable wasp nests that you can get. They're supposed to, and they never work. We bought a bunch, and the kids painted them up to look like balloons.
Oh,
and they hang, and they've got them hung all the way down the hallway at the Heritage up there. So like there's an Eye of Ra balloon and all kinds of them. So if you get a chance, get down to the Heritage and wander the hall.
I gotta come see that. Okay.
You gotta come see it. And they built basically a balloon wall of fame there in the Heritage, where they have a basket and all the posters from previous years and all that. They've come on board. It's amazing what they're doing. So come on by the Heritage, check it out.
All right. Well, thank you for having coffee with us this morning and sharing stories. And we wish you beautiful weather and great safe flights all week long.
Well, thank you for having me, Jody. It's been a blast. We'll have some more fun later on in the week. Okay.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. We will see you back here Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.